Boom, we in there.
Yo, what's good? All right, we live now.
You
Here we
tag
are,
me. You
another
tag me yet so
episode.
I can
Yeah, I'm gonna got you in
okay.
1 second.
My
I'm gonna
man.
do that off the computer.
My man.
We got another episode of Social Experiment going on here. We got a couple of special guests here, Jermaine and Dre. I
Big
believe
dude.
y'all have a podcast y'all do too, right?
Yeah, man. We get on there and we talk shit.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
we do.
So if you like to listen to a couple of fellas talk some shit, you know where to go.
But it's that real though. We don't be playing. We get
All
to
right, so just to make this simple, and which one are you able to follow? You on my you're in the group, right?
yeah, we're in the group.
All right, so I'm gonna go to the one in the group and I'm gonna tag you on it. Right. Shit, I gotta make sure. Sabrina, I know you're watching. Tag Jermaine on the post in the group so he can see it. And tag Dre too, so he could see it.
Yeah, I need to make sure I put it on my page as well. I want like people to come in and ask me questions on my page and get it live, man.
This is also on YouTube too.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, because this streams on my page on YouTube. People probably thought I stopped doing this shit because I haven't been doing it in a minute. I was waiting for some things to get situated with my co-host before I went back on. But when she told me about y'all, I was like, yo, at least we could get on here and chop it up a little bit. Because it'll talk about sexual compatibility. Because a lot of people in relationships, a lot of times what happens is they don't realize how important that can be to your relationship. And you often hear it said amongst the women that how they're not compatible with dudes, but they don't realize a lot of times with us, there's a lot of compatibility issues too.
It's a lot.
And if those things don't line up, how it could affect your the love. It might not for example, your love that you might have for that person might not even be enough to cover everything that you have. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you might have love for this person. You might really think
great, but if your chemistry's not there, it can go to pieces.
It really can. That's the thing about it. And I say this all the time, man. When we talking our stuff, a lot of people think that like I said, women always like, what dudes always wasting your time. They don't want to get to know you, and all this stuff. They just want one thing and gone. Okay, no, it's not that. It's the fact that we can get to know you, and as we are getting to know you, we're realizing that you are just not my person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to leave. You know what I'm saying? But they get scorned. And hey, you know what? He was just wasting my time. That person could possibly legitimately been trying to get to know you.
Yeah.
Once he got to know you, if you're just not his cup of tea, it's okay. Life goes
exactly.
on.
But the thing is, people tend to take that personally. I would say, especially a lot of times with females, they are very insecure from my experience when it comes to sexuality. Like, you ever had to tell a female that she ain't smell too tight?
Oh, man. Man, don't even get me started, man.
Listen.
Get me in trouble.
Yeah, don't even get me started, man.
Listen. We're going to talk real here. And one of the realest things ever, I have sent women home. And understand, my woman watches this, so I talk on my shit real, even though she watches this shit. But the fact of the matter is she, whoever she may be, if she just ever decide to come to my crib and you come there and you all funky and shit, I'm going to just turn you right around, send you right home. Because I feel like that's disrespectful.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't go play basketball, go work out, and do a whole day of work and then come jumping in front of you like, hey, what's up? Like, that means you just didn't care.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I just don't think that people are like being real, like honest, and come to a point where you can't say nothing. So I hate to just but
Y'all should see y'all tags pop up now too.
Oh, I got it posted on my page.
I need
Also, hey, Jermaine, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But somebody's got two things going because I'm getting echo.
not me.
I don't know if it's your YouTube or if it's something else. I'm getting echo.
It's definitely not me. Everything is muted. I only got one thing running.
Okay, let me mute then as everybody speaks. So go ahead.
It might
All
be.
right.
Yeah.
So what was you saying, Jermaine?
I was just saying that it's sad that we can't say anything to help out women, but with men, we get on guys in the locker room thing. Like you need better hygiene. I've done some with men and teach them how to dress and all stuff. And we can be honest with it. It's sad that we're stuck right now because any chance that we have of bringing back black love, even just strip love, we can't do that collectively. And now we can't do it.
Right. And see, that's the problem. If you have a situation like that where you feel like you have to play, yeah. Oh, somebody said they're getting a lot of feedback. Dre, I can't even hear you.
My bad. I had it on mute. See, I'm getting a lot of feedback too, man. I'm getting,
and that's weird. Yeah, because the only thing I have running is the StreamYard on the phone.
Yeah, and Jermaine, when you were talking, I was getting feedback.
You know what, Jermaine? Check it. Are you watching via anything else, like your laptop or nothing else? The fuck is that? Yeah, because I'm muted here.
It's me and Jermaine that's getting the feedback.
See, do you hear? Mute yourself, Dre. Mute it on here. The StreamYard. See? Oh, well, there it goes.
Yeah, because Sabrina's saying I sound okay, so it's not coming from my end.
I have my Facebook muted, so I don't know what else it could be. Matter of fact, let me just close Facebook and see if that does anything. No, somebody else.
Okay.
We'll just get through it real quick, man.
Word. We'll just get through this. All right, so that's one of the things that I've seen initially that's a problem in relationships. I've seen that come. I counsel people too. So I will tell you one of the biggest arguments that happens, and it all starts from communication. Because a lot of times you'll deal with people and they'll have a situation where they don't know how to listen to each other. You'll hear each other, but a lot of people, their problem is when you're telling them stuff, they're so caught up in waiting for you to stop talking just so they can say whatever they want to say, that they're not really taking in what you're saying. And that, I think, is where it starts. Because sexual compatibility, like I'm the kind of person, I can't speak for every man, but I'm the kind of person, I got to kind of get to know you a little bit and get some familiarity with you before I open up in that way. You understand what I'm saying? So if I don't know shit about you, if I don't know what's going on with you, it's not really going to be any real connection.
Yeah, funny that you said that. A lot of people listen to respond. They don't listen to get the message. So what I always say is communication is only 50%. Comprehension is the 50% that you need.
Right.
You have to have that. They go hand in hand when you're trying to deal with somebody. You can be an amazing communicator, amazing communicator. But if that person can't comprehend what you're saying, it's not in your head, you're going to continue to have the same issues over and over. So if they can't comprehend, it's an issue. So you have to find somebody who do both communicate and comprehend in order to get results.
Right. Jermaine, you got anything on that?
Honestly, both hit it hard, so I agree with y'all.
This is so strange. This sound on this fucking. I'm about to tell StreamYard they gonna fucking give me a free month for this shit. Because let me tell you something. When it comes to trying to do this via just Facebook, the shit is terrible. It's a struggle. And you could barely even like share the shit around and do anything. Like they've limited everything you can do on just Facebook, which is why I got this. And then I see this, and it's like normally the sound is pretty clear, but for some reason it's doing some weird shit. I know it's not the internet. The internet's pretty strong, but I don't know. Maybe it's the bandwidth because I've never done this with 3 people at once. So maybe that's what it might have been. But I'll test that theory and we'll carry on. But I do agree. It really is a situation where you just have to learn to get to know.
Did he just freeze? See.
We good?
You froze up.
Froze.
No, I know it froze for a second. I changed the internet setting.
Okay.
We good though?
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay. Nah, it sounds a little better now.
Okay.
So the thing is that I feel like when the communication is better, you tend to have a better situation. And also people got to learn to live in their truth. Because a lot of people try to force a square peg into a round hole. And that's why this shit don't work. Like, how many times, let me tell you one of the most discouraging things I've ever seen in the dating world. When I see a female tell me she's been in like 3 relationships and all of them was like over 3 to 5 years, 3 years or more. And I say, you was in multiple relationships for over 3 years, but you never got married? You never even got close? To me, that's bad sign. That shows me that you don't have awareness of your relationship, which is a skill that you need to have. Because if you don't have that awareness, what's going to end up happening is your relationship's going to fail before it even starts. You're going to already start at a loss. And nobody wants to start with a handicap.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I see. What do you think, Dre?
I said we know, like I said, rest in peace to Lady Evan Samuels. We already know. 6 months. We know if we want to marry. We know if you're the one, if you're worth our time, putting forth the effort.
Speak for yourself.
I was waiting.
You said what?
This dude is already. It only took him about like 10 minutes to get into it.
Yeah, you can say that.
It does not take 6 months because at 6 months you just starting to get really a representative.
So if you start now, this is why I say 6 months.
That's a good point too.
Now, with your truth, that person start out with their truth. How y'all vibe? You will know in 6 months if y'all vibe and like in front of. Now you will know if I can see myself being with one person. I ain't gonna say that it's just everybody is 6 months. It's a time span. I don't think it's no 2 years before you decide you want to wait for somebody to marry them. That's the purpose of waiting 2 years. And like y'all have for years and whatnot. Because how many times people have been years, they get married, and 6 months later they're apart from each other. It's not for everybody, and it's so like I said, no if that person is for you. I think, like I said, there's a time early in a relationship when you get with somebody, that you will put forth more effort and you will later, because somebody's just not going to deal with that. So after time, you're just not going to deal with it. So I think set up every individual different.
That's just my. I don't know what Jermaine's opinion is. Jermaine has my opinion is subjective. Just like your opinion is subjective and Mac's is subjective. So
listen, me personally, I feel like the process of learning never stops. I feel like it's something you could be with somebody for 5 years and learn something new about. It just matters if the situation actually comes about or not. Hey, Sabrina, if you're still floating around, tag some more people too, because people sleeping over here. Anyway, because normally I'm used to seeing more people than this sitting here. That's why I know this is what happens when you go dead for like a good month. But anyway, but thank God for the replays on this. What the hell is this? Oh, somebody's spamming on YouTube. Anyway, so the thing is, if you're gonna have any hope of having a solid relationship, you really have to go. I would say you really should just drop back to the beginning of it. And there's no way 6 months. I think 6 months sounds good when you're almost at the end of the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
sounds good.
But the thing is, even after 6 months to a year, there's still other things that you come to discover. I found the equation I found that works the most in most successful relationships I've seen has been between 2 to 3 years. Normally gives them thing, and the thing is, you got to have 1 year dating and 1 year living together. Because if you don't live with them, you are setting yourself up for failure, because you don't know what kind of shit they might be into that might drive you crazy.
Trust me. I know about you. Old to well.
Yeah.
Get along good outside, whatever, but when y'all together, trust me, I know about ways. I choose not to be. I know.
Yes, it is the topic, Sabrina. But all of this is a part of it. Because the thing is, sexual compatibility is not just what you working with, what she working with, and then making it work. If it was that easy, a lot of shit that goes wrong in the bedroom would not happen. A lot of people who don't necessarily click, it wouldn't be a thing, because the only thing that matters is if y'all got the right equipment for the job. And that kind of thing, might have lost Jermaine for a second. That kind of thing.
You got that boost.
Okay. Nah, he's dropping out just to make sure he isn't, echoing or whatever. So I'll pay attention when he comes back in. But, you got to make sure that your dish is right first before you can get to all of that physical shit. And a lot of times people don't care to put through that effort, and that's why they end up failing in everything that they do.
Yeah, I agree.
Huh?
I completely
yeah, because they struggle in this, and it's like,
well, and that's when I first started out.
You know what's one of the number one things? Women don't listen to men as much as they should, and they don't consider that man's feelings. You know how many times, and I know this is drifting a little bit off the topic, but like I said, all of this stuff is about coming back around to the compatibility. Because in my experience, often when the compatibility isn't there, aside from the physical shit, because we all know if you don't got what I like and I don't got what you like, why you ever in a relationship in the first place? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how many times you seen girls dogging a man out because they saying, oh, that man ain't got shit, or whatever the case may be, or he ain't working with nothing, or whatever the case. You dogging him out, but you had a whole relationship with him. You know how many times I played the part of the side dude and had to listen to that bullshit? And I'm sitting there like, but you with him. Oh, but he's spending money. That's dumb.
Dude, that's regardless.
Oh, please.
Just get a benefit.
They don't want to hear that part, though, when they don't realize they selling their ass.
The thing is, it's called the one, like I said, I always say this, I don't care, but the one word that women use like kryptonite. The word is called accountability. They can't.
There you go.
They can't take
You
that.
You ever seen the cartoons or them little shows from back in the days where you say that special word and then it comes up on the screen like,
yeah.
We just need the accountability to pop up across the scene just like that.
They cannot take it. It's always all about this stuff. You're wrong. I can do this, but you can't. You can't.
We have an interesting question here. So the question is what are your requirements for a healthy sex life within a relationship? I'll let y'all feel that one first.
All right, I'll take it. First off, you have to be visually appealing. This is the problem where I get in trouble right here. I think we got to talk about it. Sometimes partners forget what they look like when you first got with them. And so they keep eating out and working out less. And so the attraction goes down.
Ooh.
And then also, it's the freaky stuff that you used to do beforehand that we used to like get into. They don't want to do that no more. Now it becomes lazy. Or it's, well, you're not getting me in the mood. It's like, well, men like to be getting put in the mood, but it doesn't seem like we get that. But we get that in the beginning. So my requirement is stay the way you were before. I know we grow, but don't get lazy with it. And be open-minded. A lot of people don't like doing sexual things that ain't never even tried it. They let society tell them what they can and can't do. So let's try something, and if we don't like it, we don't.
You said it already enough, man. Like I said, a lot of it is appealing, but everybody's like it's subjective. You like what you like. I like, you know, like I said, all women. You know what I'm saying? Like, little bitty, thin, petite. It's not my thing. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I like hers. I can't lie about it. You know, man. I'm not talking about disproportionate type thing. You know, like that's not my thing. I got a homeboy who loves that. And if you ain't minimum, you don't. You got to do better to get with him. But with him, I'm talking about me. It's the visual appealing. You know what I'm saying? It's for me. Like I said, not everything is strictly. And I made a post about this. Not everything. Okay, I don't hear any echo anymore.
Whatever just happened, that fixed it.
Whatever happened, I don't hear no more echo. So again, where I was going with this or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? What visually turns me on, again, like I said, is of course the appearance, but I look at, you know, like I said, where I'm at, man, I'm about to be 46 next Tuesday, bro. My mind is completely different. It's not strictly physical. I've done the physical. I've done enough physical stuff. What else do you offer besides physical? It's got to be more to you than physical. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that goes into what I'm compatible with, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get along with you when we, you know what I'm saying, horizontal, you know what I'm saying? Horizontal, we get along perfectly fine. That's great, no issue. What happens when we're vertical? We're standing on face to face. We can't get it. You got to do, man. If I can't get along with you face to face, it's a wrap, man. Like I literally don't want to be around. So it's more to it for me than it is just the physical part, the compatibility. That's just me. So, it is what it is. And sorry, like I said, I didn't mean to cut this short, but I have to go. I'm at an undisclosed location right now, and I need to roll. So, you gentlemen, let's do this again. Let's try to get on. I don't know what just happened. It came back. Let's try to do this again, man. As soon as we can, man, and we can get it in, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just about to really get into this topic, man, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all be easy.
Hey, tell Tyrone I said, what's up, man? Y'all beautiful couple.
Thank you.
And I hope to holler at y'all later, man.
I know. Trust me, he's only over here because he's mad at you. I guess you wouldn't get over or something. I don't know. You want to talk to your man? I mean, your ex? My bad. That's between y'all. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, man, I'll let y'all do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Y'all be easy, Max. All right, Jermaine. Okay. We'll talk later. All right, Jermaine.
Uh-oh.
All right. I'm playing with the internet settings because things is acting weird today. Now somebody's posting up about free girls in the city. You gotta love YouTube, man. These bots. Clearly, I've been hiding from the bots for a while. This is the first time they came, but that means you're moving up in the algorithm when they find you and actually start spamming your joint. Hey, so let them keep commenting. The more comments they drop, the more my joint moves up in the algorithm. So we good.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So like I said, one of the biggest problems is too, I feel like people don't compromise. Because when you're in a relationship, it's not just about what you like. It's about what they like. Mm-hmm. So, granted, nobody should be compromising their individual, like, if you're not bisexual, you should not have to compromise that. Or if you're not into like getting chained up and nothing extreme, but you have to find a middle ground somewhere, because a lot of times what happens is people tend to just start on one end. And this person will be like this, that person will be like that. And because neither one of them, this one wants to stay extreme and this one wants to stay total plain Jane, you never get nowhere.
Right. I would say you don't have to compromise, but you should be able to relax some of your ideals. Maybe not your ethics and like you were saying, like I'm not bisexual, we ain't doing that, but I can relax certain things, like because who's to say why I believe this is something that I'm gonna hold steadfast to. Maybe that was because that was where I grew up or what my parents told me or what religion I was doing. You know what I mean? You gotta step out there, try new things. I hear a lot of my female friends saying most guys don't want to even go out and order something different. I'm like, that's simple. Go out and try some different kinds of food.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But see, the thing is, people are not willing to do that. They're not willing to even do that. They want it 100% how they want it. That's all they know, and that's all they're willing to do. I always tell people when I listen to a couple, and one of them, because sometimes it's the man, sometimes it's the woman, but when I listen to anybody in a couple talk like that, I say, honestly, what you need to do is be in a relationship with yourself so you can see how miserable it is to be with you.
Yeah, right. It sounds like low key. It sounds like that's what we're talking about. Low key. I want to say I want it when I want it. I want nobody else to have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
But you know, a lot of people get older, but they never grow up. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's really where it starts. People grow old. They don't get more mature. They don't keep their mind open and try new things, new experiences. Me personally, I feel like the key to a relationship, especially if you want some longevity, honestly, you got to be willing to break a limit or two sometime.
Right.
You can't be meat and potatoes the whole time and then at the same time think you're going to get bored. And you know how men are. Men are not naturally monogamous creatures anyway, not as much as women are. So, and I know this is one of them things where people, oh shit. And I know it's funny coming from me because I'm actually in a monogamous relationship. But the truth of the matter is, you've got to keep things interesting. You have to spark things up. Because if you don't do that, eventually what's going to end up happening is they're going to get bored and things are going to turn into somebody tiptoeing. Or at first the eye starts wandering. Then the mind starts to wander. Then the body follows what the mind wants to do. Now, there are ways to avoid that, but that's called paying attention to your partner. It's all right. Trust me, I just had the foresight to turn my ringer because my phones went off a couple of times since this thing went on. It's like you go on here and it's like turns on a sign that says, "Hey, everybody, call me now."
I know. My nephew can see me. My family has a big Thanksgiving. Everybody comes down here to Texas. And I'm like, man, you guys see me screaming. Why are you calling me Thanksgiving stuff?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to say what I got to say about the whole poly and monogamy thing first. And Jermaine, I want you to kick out something on this. But the thing is, I would say monogamy has a success rate of about 27 to 33%. Typically, relationships that operate outside of those parameters, especially as times become more modern and people are becoming more aware of themselves and certain norms or taboos are becoming more norm, more people are embracing the truth of themselves because there's tons of people that are married and not enjoying anything about their marriage. They're just there because they're there. And it's a miserable existence. The sex is so mundane. It's like, okay, let's get up, get in, get off, and get out and go to sleep. If you ever seen Married with Children, it's kind of like that. You know, the man's like, oh, Peg, you want to have sex? All right, let's go. There's no desire. There's no animal magnetism. And studies have shown that when you add a little variety to your situation, it actually makes you even yearn for your actual partner, the person that you're actually with, more in many cases. There are exceptions, but in many cases, that's what I found. And I'm a sociology nerd, so I've actually done some studies on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? What do you think on that one?
I think you really have to dissect, kind of go into what you were saying, why you want to go poly. I think people go poly and really don't believe in the lifestyle. What they're really saying is, I'm bored. I'm bored with this one person that I've seen and you continue to be. And I think as men, that's how we are. We miss the game. We miss the fishing, the hunting, you know, the change of scenery, the chase. So if you get the same chase, then you're taking away anything that was spicy about the relationship. course, my eyes started wandering.
Yeah, freeze up.
My eyes wander in the beginning because we're visual, but that sense of the hunt, that killer instinct comes out because I am bored, and you will not try what you did before to make me hunt you before. So what you become is this dead platter that I get to partake and eat on every time. Like I would like some salt on this every once in a while. You know, like what the other person say, when he got the saltine crackers. It's like, oh, I mean, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, it was great. That's how I'm up. And I believe in monogamy or polyamory, but if it's because you're bored, maybe you need to change your partner because I hear polyamory or because all the different spectrums, a lot of them have issues because they bring in another person, but they also bring in themselves and nobody ever changes. So they break up because of the same issues they had before. They thought that one person was to stop those issues when they just show it's kind of bigger light on the whole issue. Now you got a third person that has a problem. So I need to be one. I'm starting to weigh on the side of polyamory because I see the wealth that it builds and the structure that it can build and generational family and that structure that is I see the advantage of it. But unless we're all going to counseling and people are being honest, then if I find everything in this one person, then I'm down to get married and be monogamous. It's just all about being honest. So either one. I'm
right.
one.
And you know what I see? I'm gonna tell you this. This is one thing that I see. And it's really frustrating me that we're sitting up here playing mic on, mic off because this shit is, fuck was that? Somebody just bust a shot at me. Nah, it's fucking plastic. Anyway, so here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand there are financial advantages when you have more help. People also need to understand that there's a difference between polygamy and polyamory. Polyamory is when you're actually building an entire household. It's the art, basically, it pretty much is what it sounds like. Being in love with more than one person openly and sharing that love within the same circle. And polygamy is more about just the physical activity where you might not have a whole relationship with the other partners that you engage with, but your main partner is aware of your other goings on, and it's an open sharing situation. And like I said, it's not for everybody. I'm not really that beat to have that situation personally. Been there, seen all of that. I could tell you something. There's some serious disadvantages too. And one of the disadvantages is not all the argument. When there's an argument, trying to get between two females when they going through their shit with each other, especially when their hormones is all out of whack, that shit is a fucking oof. You think dealing with one is a pain in the ass? Multiply that by like 2, 3, and you got that shit in stereo. Mouths coming from both. You're like, oh my God. Oh. But there's one key component here, which is the missing thing, is people need to really learn themselves first before they get into it with anybody. A lot of people don't realize how much they're fucking up their own relationships because they don't know enough about themselves to even first engage with anybody else. And if anybody's curious as to what this has to do
with sex, you already are missing the point of how important these things are for the sex. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the issues, is people don't communicate. They don't understand each other. They don't know who they are. How can you tell somebody what you like if you don't know yourself?
That is true. And also, people aren't willing to love or care for somebody the way they need to be, not how you do it, but have the emotional intelligence to say, this is not about me. This is about the other person. This is not to make me feel good. This is about making them feel good. And how do they need to receive it? And I think, honestly, polyamory is a older person's game. I wouldn't suggest it for the younger because we're still selfish. We all in it for ourselves, you know, and especially when I was younger as a guy, you know, we think with the other head. So, you know, some of the other stuff we like, oh, well, I'll deal with this because I'm getting 2 women, or I'll just leave. And when I come back, they'll be chill. But no, you left 2 women. And I know you left 1 woman when she's hot and upset. Oh, she'll stay up. She'll wake up and still come back for you. So now you got 2. So, yeah, it definitely is self-reflection and emotional intelligence that has to go into that, and patience to do so, and finding like-minded people. And it's sad that I just see it in businesses. Like, I've had many business partners, and it's almost like running a business. You know, you got to deal with jealousy and making sure everybody's okay and no one's feeling like they're above the other. It's managing people, you know, and it's a tough job. I think just some people just jump into it because it sounds good, especially for men. It's like, when you don't have the resources, and this is what we're supposed to be doing, building resources and building ourselves as men to be leaders, then you shouldn't be in that position anyway. Because if you can't provide for yourself, you're not on your purpose, you're not on your path, you don't have assets built up, then how are you going to have not 1, but 2? And then I don't know how, if you guys decide to become a bond, because I know in Colorado we have common law. So you do that with 2 different people. When you try to divorce and split your assets with 2 different people, because you can become married after 6 months if there is any inflection that you guys are moving towards marriage, or if you guys are dating for 12 months and cohabitating without even the lure of saying, oh, wifey, you know, is my hubby or whatever, then you're married. So imagine dividing up your stuff twice and doing, you know, spousal support. Like, you really have to think about it.
Jesus. That's why when it comes to that, it's very important that you really think this shit the fuck through. A lot of people don't, like you said, they just think it's all cute. Oh, I'm walking with 2 girls. I'm the man. Yeah. And they don't see that there's a hard truth that you have to face. You have to be responsible for these 2. Because I tell people this all the time. There's something bigger than money. Because the money, you got to have money. You got to have some finance. You got to be pulling some weight on that table. You can't be living off these women. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's another aspect too. And the aspect is, if as a man, if you're even going to hope to live that kind of life, you really have to have some sharp leadership skills. Because the problem is, there's a lot of beta males and alpha male clothing walking around out here. And the thing is, I don't even like to classify myself as anything in particular. I've been told I'm very alpha, I'm very dominating, whatever the case may be. I've been given a lot of different titles throughout my life. But I consider myself to be a leader, because a leader is always thinking 2 to 3 steps ahead. You're always looking at the big picture of the situation. You're not just living in the now. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why I 100% agree with you that this ain't a move you should make when you're young. Because when you're young, you haven't developed those skills to the point where you could really be that leader just yet. Listen, I thought I knew what the fuck I was talking about when I was 28, 30 years old. And I thought, okay, now I've arrived. When I hit 40, I realized, yeah, there's a whole lot I didn't realize about myself. And this was me coming into my own truth so that I could be a better version of me for whomever I deal with. Like I said, I walk on the path of monogamy now, and I'm happy there. But that's a special situation, because I'll be honest with you, in most cases, this wouldn't have been me at all. It's just one of those things where the universe lined things up and it worked out. You understand what I'm saying? And God willing, it just keeps going that way. You understand? But that's not something that you can expect. And in most cases, the odds are not in your favor that that's going to work for you. So you need to come to terms with the fact that if you've been trying that same thing and it ain't been working, give something else a try. Because you only live once. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to die without giving it everything that you got and gotten all the experiences out of life that you possibly could have.
Well, can we break it even down before we even talk about polygamy or polyamory? Even talking about monogamy, can we at least get to that point? Because a lot of people that's being monogamous shouldn't even be monogamous. Let's just be honest. Some people just don't need to be in relationships. You can stick to situationships. Hey, go there, be toxic to yourself, move around, be honest about it. Some people just ain't even ready for that. So some people that wasn't even ready for monogamy and couldn't even handle themselves in that, or jump into this other spectrum thing that's gonna fix everything.
Very true.
No, we need to do some serious self-evaluation about, am I ready to be in a relationship with another person? Am I good by myself? Do I have myself in order? Am I able to admit when I'm wrong? Because I know that's a huge thing. We say accountability, but it is missing. It's fleeting in a lot of people. Accountability. Yeah. And especially in men too. Like some men just ain't leadership. Just because you're a man, and like we said, there's some infiltrators, some fake alphas out there. And I want women to stop saying all men or most men or whatever. Just say my women's intuition is not quite working. It's funny how women's intuition don't work in the beginning. It works in the end. When you found out he was cheating, he should have told you in the beginning. Some of you guys just need to slow down, learn yourself, build yourself, and then when you come in it with somebody else, you don't have to worry, because you should already recognize, hey, this is how I need to be treated. This is how I know how to treat somebody else. I'm listening to what they're saying, and it's not adding up. It's not matching up. And it's okay for me to then pull myself away and be alone with myself, because I am comfortable there to find somebody else. Don't blame the other person for, oh, well, he tricked me, or she did this. She kept me in this for 2 years, like we were saying, dating for a year and a half, and I ain't getting up 3 years. No, that was you as well. You were not comfortable with yourself enough to walk away. You were not doing enough investigation. You were not seeing the red flags there, and that's okay. Take the loss, learn, move back from it, figure out how you can do that, spend some time with yourself, and then try monogamy again. Stop jumping from person to person to person, or just staying out there and not figuring yourself out. A lot of people say, I'm in my, I'm trying to learn myself. You ain't learning nothing. You learning dick. That's what you learning. You learning how to make babies. You ain't learning how to be a man or a woman.
And half the time they can't get that right.
You 100% right, man.
Listen, the number one problem is the monkey branching, because they don't know how to be by themselves. They jump from thing to thing to thing to thing, trying to fall up under somebody. Let me tell you something. I was doing rideshare during fucking the pandemic, because everything else was closed and shit. So I was out there getting that paper. And you would be surprised. There was so many women that typically are those independent, I don't need no man, and I pay my own this, I do all that. Them girls was in that car damn near in tears talking. I swear I wish I had a camera to do taxi cab confessions in that bitch. Because them women was in there damn near in tears in some cases, talking about how they worry because they're alone, they don't know what's gonna happen. Some people's imagination even went to the lengths of thinking it was gonna be the zombie apocalypse out this bitch. And I'm like, yeah, because that can happen. And you need to understand the man is important. Having a man of leadership mentality is important. But it's also about appreciating that man when you have them. Because a lot of times you get these women, they want to be arm in arm leading with you. And that just don't work. Now, granted, just because you're the leader doesn't mean it's a fucking monarch where you don't say anything, you don't think anything, you have no rights except for what I say. That's not how that works. It's just about having somebody that sits at the head of the table to make the final decision. Because all of this stuff, I know it sounds like a lot of extra shit, but all of this stuff rolls back into that. Because a lot of times when you find that you're sexual, aside from physical things, and sometimes physical things are the reason. The man or the woman could be going through something. They might be stressed. It could be so many different things sexually. But if none of that stuff is happening and you find your compatibility is off, you need to sit and get your face out of the whatever's real quick. Whatever it is that normally you're doing to distract yourself or wherever your brain normally is, you got to come. If you care about your relationship, you got to come on down to this shit and find out what's going on, especially if you was cracking and now you're not. If you was never cracking, then I don't know what the fuck you was doing. But you got to find out where it starts. Because if you don't get down to that nitty gritty, you're going to end up losing. And then you're going to have to start all over again with a whole new person, doing more of that learning dick, as you said. You understand what I'm saying? And another thing, you got to learn to come out of your default settings. A lot of ladies operate in default settings. There's a way that they function. They function like this with every man that they've been with. And because they figure it ain't broke, because a lot of them don't realize that a lot of times it's them that's the problem. If you keep having the same problem over and over again from man to man, it ain't them no more, boo-boo, it's you.
You're right. You're right. And then I wanted to go off what you said with, having a man as leader, and it kind of goes back to this beta male thing. And if you say you want an alpha male, well, they describe an alpha male, traditional man, and strong and protective and, making money and having direction. And then when they get it, it's a problem. What you're doing is saying, I want an alpha male, but then I want a beta male. And it's like, it's two contrasting ideas. Either you want an alpha male that can take care of the family and take care of you and make money and make decisions. And of course, he's not always going to be right. And not everything is going to be on him. But if somebody breaks in the house and my life is on line, if I have to die for this family, then I better damn well be the leader of it. You know what I mean? If I got to face the consequences.
Let me interject one thing in here, because one thing I want to touch on that you said. Because, see, there's another key component here. It's called being the position of convenience. You see what you said about the whole, if somebody breaks in the crib, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If somebody breaks in the crib, obviously the man's going to be the one. He's going to grab the weapon, if you have a weapon, because, that's all I'm going to say. And you're going to grab the weapon, and you're going to go see what time it is, because somebody about to lose they about to have a bad day. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to step out on that and you making sure to protect everybody that's around you, how can I be that, but I'm hiding behind your skirts all the other times? That doesn't make sense. But again, that comes to that convenience thing, because They want the traditional when it's convenient. Then they want the contemporary when it's convenient. Meaning they'll talk about, oh, I want a man that's paying all the bills and doing all of this. But then when it's time to have to bow down, because that's what this man is doing. No, now it's contemporary. We're all equals and everybody gets a fair share. No. If you want it contemporary, then have a contemporary relationship. Everybody works together and all that good stuff. If you want traditional, understand the role of traditional, and you ain't gonna have a whole lot of say in a traditional situation. That's all I want to say. My bad.
No, it brings me back, and I like that you brought me to that section, because I was thinking about something. It was, when women now, when you say, "Oh, can you cook for me? You can clean for me?" The traditional stuff. I'm not your mama. These men want their mama. I'm not your mama. I'm your wife, right? What does this sound like? The person that pays all your bills, right? Takes care of you, protects your house, tells you that you're beautiful all the time, buys your clothes, all that stuff. It sounds like a daddy, right? Sounds like your father, right? Tells you that you're beautiful no matter what, never leaves you, all this other stuff. Sounds like a father. And I'm a father myself, because I was doing it with my daughter. I was like, these women, we never say that. Oh, well, I ain't your daddy. Tell your daddy to pay your bills. I'm not paying your bill. I'm your equal partner.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask me for that. So if you believe you being that safe ground and being that woman for me is being like my mama, don't ask me to be your daddy. Pay your own bills. You ain't always beautiful, so go over there. I'm gonna tell you the truth, because I'm your man. Don't expect me to be your daddy. I'm your man. Are they gonna like that?
That's factual. And you know what? Again, that's something that a lot of times these women don't want to hear. They don't want to hear, oh, you're supposed to. And here's another thing too. Hold up. Let me go this. I know, like I said. All right. Who the fuck are you to tell me what a man's supposed to be like? Like, seriously. Half of y'all barely know how to be a woman. Half of y'all barely know how to wipe your coochie without it still smelling pissy. But you want to sit up here and tell me how to be a man when you're sitting on a toilet and still peeing on it. I've had to use the woman's bathroom before. And I'm like, how are they wetting up the toilet seat so much? So these motherfuckers want to come out and tell me how to be a man. If I gave them half the weight that me as a man has had to carry, they would have folded and jumped off a fucking cliff 20 years ago. But nonetheless, here I stand. And we ain't talking about squat. Because I've been over to people's houses and their toilet seat was wet. Make it make sense.
Well,
I pay attention to everything. Go ahead, Jermaine, because I can't hear you. You muted.
But if they lift the seat up, then you wouldn't have that on the toilet seat. I'm just saying, if they would leave the seat up, we wouldn't have that problem. But they always put the seat down and then they pee on it. See, I'm just...
Listen, my thing is at least if you make a mistake, and this is what I was getting to while I'm using the pee thing as a reference, whatever mistake you make, because we're all human beings and we make mistakes. The key thing is to recognize your mistake and clean up behind yourself. And that's not just for pee, that's for everything in life. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have things that you're going to do that your partner's not going to like. You're going to neglect your partner or not hear them or not notice something about them even when they're struggling through something. Because us as human beings are selfish by nature. And that's all of us. But the thing is, And one thing I've loved the movement that's happening now, and I know there's a lot of this in part, which a lot of people don't give Kevin Samuels props for that, but a lot in part is that too, is the part where it comes to men are being more open about how they feel about shit. Because for many years, and including myself, I don't even remember how to cry. You understand what I'm saying? I've literally tried to think of things that I care about that could make me get that out my system, and I don't even know how to do that. So I was raised totally stoic. If I was to go to my history on here, you'd be looking at me like, holy shit. But my whole thing is, when you are able to express your feelings, you holding all that shit in, it can manifest in other ways. It can kill your testosterone. It affects your just animal instincts. Or a person that you used to look at and think was the most beautiful thing in the world now is ugly as fuck to you. Hold up, somebody's got a question. They said they want to ask Jermaine, what is your favorite thing a woman can do for you sexually? What kind of crazy ass fucking questions?
That's got a different question.
That sounds like I can't see who it is because I'm not checking the computer right now. But whoever the hell asking that, maybe you want to send a DM or something. I don't know. But I mean, if you want to answer that, you can. As general as possible.
Yeah,
of course it is.
I would say the best thing. Now you can think of freaky things, and that would be. That would not say. I would say love being a woman. That's what you can do. Be sensual. Just be in your sensuality. Just like I just love watching a woman just walk around, just knowing she just loves her body, like loves that. I like woman that entices that. It's like I said, we are hunters. We are wired to be hunters. So that's why men go fishing, man. It's the whole action of, oh, I caught this, and the whole ambiance, the whole thing surrounding catching the fish. That's why a lot of men catch and release fish. It's not about catching the fish because I'm hungry. It's about being out there. It's about the sensation. So I think a lot of women need to step in that femininity. It's not all about, oh, well, he needs to turn me on. You are meant to be beautiful. Like, you're the reason why the cavemen painted on walls. Why wouldn't you take that power and love that power? Like, why would you? It's like a man that just shuns working out or having a deep voice or wrestling or like having that aggressive testosterone, and he just wants to be feminine, and he's like, well, I just think it's horrible. It's like these women need to like know the power that they have. We went to wars for them. Like the shapes of cars were like them. The mountains are built like a woman sitting on the side. Like it's like you have you are the most beautiful thing on earth. All art is based around you. Why don't you stand in it? I think that's the most sensual thing that you can do.
A multi-billion-dollar industry leaning strictly on that. But you know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. And I mean, we can get into the weeds in this in another conversation because we're running a little late right now. But the thing is, it's about society. Society keeps women insecure so they could spend all this money on cosmetic surgery, on all this makeup, on all these different things. And a lot of times, let me tell you something. One of the favorite times I love seeing my woman is when she's in her most natural form. When she sits there, she got her hair out, and she's just chilling and relaxing in the house. And I'm just looking like, damn, baby, you are a beautiful woman. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's something that a lot of us men appreciate. The only other thing we ask for y'all other than that is love our aggression. because we are aggressive by nature. Don't ever try to neutralize the love of your man or the aggression of your man. If your man is the kind of man that can get a little aggressive, he want to grab you, you need to let him rock with that because that's his love language. Let me tell you the worst thing you can do. If you cut off somebody's love language, your sexual compatibility is going to go from a 10 to a 0. That's something that'll be very hard to fix. But then the good news is you get to pop up in front of me and I'll charge you a fair price to fix you.
You're right. You're right.
But nonetheless, listen, Jermaine, we gonna wrap this one up for the night. I appreciate you, Andre. Shout out to you too, brother. We gonna get this next time. I'm gonna aim more for like 7:30, 8 o'clock, because I feel like with the 3 of us on, we legit need an hour and a half to really get into something.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's how we're gonna do this. One day we're gonna have Sabrina on with us too. Once she lines up a couple of things, because her equipment's all fucked up right now. And Sabrina, we ain't sitting on here for 2 hours. You wildin'. I know that's you. But you know, like I said, I appreciate you being on. You definitely have written some poetry and spit some game in your day, brother. Because those are some pimped out ass fucking lines right there.
I appreciate it.
The shape of the mountains.
I'm telling you, that's
the inspiration for everything. I mean, you're not wrong, but it just was the fact that you broke it down like that. Yo, round of applause. Yo, that was great.
I appreciate it.
Listen, we're going to get back on this because I really want to hear, because Dre was just warming up and then he had to make moves. So we're going to make sure next time all of us line up. I try not to make it too early because I know you got like a 2-hour difference from us.
Yeah.
So
as long as it's not a Tuesday, we good.
We ain't doing Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to worry about it. That's probably going to be one of my gym days once I can go back. Right now I'm a little in pain. That's why I keep grabbing my thing. But anyway, appreciate it, brother. Thanks y'all for watching. We've seen people popping in and out and all that stuff. And the rewatches are always where everybody catches it. Because they always look and say, "Huh, wait, you was on? Oh shit." I tagged everybody. Pay attention. Anyway, I'll let you later, brother. We'll do this another time.
I appreciate it, man.
All right.